So we will get started in just a minute. Julie, I hope you're not the only one, but you're here, so we can have a real class. Let's see. I want to do speaker. I got a spotlight. Pin video. Okay. So everybody can see me on YouTube. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, yeah. Hi. How you doing?
Great. And you?
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah.
Getting through life.
Yes.
Are you here in Santa Barbara?
No, I'm in Brazil.
Oh my gosh. What time is it there?
Now it's 8
a.m.
p.m.
8 a.m. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. So that's difficult. I'm sorry. I wish you were still here, but I'm glad you're home. You're home with your family?
Yeah, I'm with all of my family here.
Okay. Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. But then how is the situation there?
We're in quarantine too, but people are starting to go out. Like they think that people like we're all good, fine. And people start going out, like trying to start like working and stuff, but they can't. So the police now is going out, and it's not good.
So anybody is sick near you or not really?
Oh no, I'm really isolated. Like I'm in a small city, like it's a beach city, and it's like really small. My family has like an apartment here, so we're just here. I'm here like for a month already.
So you're protected though, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, did you get the message from me on email or did you go onto Canvas?
I went to Canvas and I saw the.
You saw the announcement?
announcement.
Yeah. For some reason, the announcement didn't go out. Maybe I have to send it again. I don't know what's going on. I don't see
didn't
anybody.
receive as an email. I received just like I just got into your Canvas.
You just got my email?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I sent an email. So let me just send it again.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what happened.
but it's just saying. Oh no, it's just saying that you change it, my grade or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It is not saying about the Zoom.
Okay. Did they ask for a password by any chance?
No.
Yeah, I think the link that I give you it gets past the password. So
yeah.
Okay, did you get the email from me now?
Let me see.
Hey, Erica.
Yeah,
I
got it.
Okay, did you check the announcements? Okay. I tried to send an email. I don't know what happened, but anyways, I sent another one, but anyways, I was hoping we'd get a few people here because it's more fun. This lecture is really funny, actually. It's about astrology. So, that's not what our class is typically about, but this particular lecture is about astrology. And so actually, and in fact, this is the work done by by one of our adjuncts instructor. He's going to be giving us a talk actually on Friday for the Earth 101 lecture classes for extra credit. And his name is Jared Goldberg. So he came up with this activity. I think is kind of fun. And, I don't really believe in astrology, but, I don't want to tell you not to believe in it, but I want to also maybe show you today why there's some reasons why you would question it, basically. So I'll wait just a couple more minutes. We'll have a little activity. And then today's lecture, instead of having the quiz where I ask you questions and people have been complaining how they can't get 100%, a lot of people. This one today is really very, very fun. You just play, right? And you're going to be playing with Stellarium and doing some investigation and trying to figure out, in particular, you're going to try to make your own astrological chart. And so what I'm going to teach you today, you can make lots of money on the internet as an astrologer. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you can, but anyways, we'll try, and we'll definitely see some of the issues, in astrology. Astrology came, astronomy came from astrology, but really astrology today doesn't think that the stars are so important. It's really was just a mechanism for determining the calendar really precisely. So astrology used astronomy to get the dates right. But other than that, they don't even use the stars anymore, they say, even though we talk about the stars. So, all right, let's see if anybody else has come. We have one person here. Hello on YouTube. Okay. Hello. There we go. Okay. And it's funny because the YouTube is always just a little bit delayed. So if you watch that, it's kind of funny. All right, so I'm ready to get started if you guys are ready. Did you guys see the email from me now?
Yeah, we got it.
Still no email?
I got it.
What is going on? I just sent it another way. You did? Oh, you did or you didn't?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Saying, come join me on Zoom or for our lab.
Okay, great. Okay, so hopefully people get that message. Okay, so meanwhile, let's go ahead and get started. So let's see, I have to do a couple of things. So actually, I don't know if you realize, but this is our second to last lab, right? We have this one and we have next week, and that's it. That's it. So one of the things I haven't quite figured out, but I need to figure it out very soon because we only have a week left, is I want to give you a third star quiz, which is based on the current, all the stars of the springtime that we've been working on. Actually, maybe we'll practice those right now. Is that okay with you guys? Can you talk, Erica, or are you just keeping silent?
No, I can talk. I have you on.
Okay.
I can hear you in my, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Julia, you and Erica can be my little guinea pigs. I only have 2 students here, so I'm going to ask you guys the questions, but you're going to get plenty of practice, right? So you have plenty of practice. Have you been looking at the stars at all?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the stars at night? Try to practice a little bit. It's much better when you look at the real thing. And actually this activity we're going to do a reading. We're going to pretend some child is being born today, maybe after dark. And then we're gonna do the astrological chart for a child who is born today, and then we'll, you guys are gonna do one for yourself, and we'll see what we see. But yeah, it would be best if you could go outside and take a look at the stars. All right, so we'll start off. Let's take a look at the canvas for a second, and oh, that's too funny. Wow. Okay, let me see canvas. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I haven't quite done everything yet. I have things to do. But on the canvas, let's see what we have right now. You have, this is past due. Oh, that's overdue. Why am I seeing that? I don't know. Anyway, some people didn't do this though. So if you didn't do this, please turn it in. This was supposed to be tracking Venus. And if you only showed me 1 or 2 points, that's not enough. I gave you a comment and I asked you to do more. But if you gave me a nice set of points, I accepted that. That was great. And then this one was due today. So again, if you haven't done it yet, I would rather have it late than not at all. And this was due today. Okay, this is due at midnight. So please do that. If you're entitled to extra time and I didn't give it to you yet, please ask me for extra time. And then this will be due. What did I do? I said this is due on the 23rd. So today's quiz is due on the 23rd. And then April 27th, that's next Monday, the mythology story. If you want to do extra credit, that is due next Monday. Some of you have done that, and that's great. Now, actually, there's an ultra secret extra credit that I didn't mention, but the extra credit that you get for the story, if you want to, on next Monday, if you want to tell everybody the story that you came up with, then I'll give you even more extra credit. And so that would mean that you would be the one talking, and you could tell that story to the rest of the group. If you want to come and join us on Zoom, you have to join us on Zoom, and you join us and you tell your story, you will get a little bit more extra credit. So those of you who think that you're a little worried that that extra credit is going to be enough to bump you up, then please consider doing that. All right. Okay, so what's going to be here coming up, and you'll have like a little more than a week. You'll have until probably, I'll give you at least a few days, probably a week from Thursday, will be the Star Quiz 3, and then also a quiz called the Overview Quiz, and that quiz has a little bit of everything in it. And if you do better on that quiz, if you missed a quiz, or if you do better on that quiz than one of the other ones, then it will replace the other quiz. Okay, so I will drop the other quiz and replace it with your better score. You cannot do bad, you cannot do worse by taking it. So I would encourage everyone to take it. You'll see it is called the Overview Quiz. But again, take it next week sometime. And then the last thing is, you can't see it. You can't see it. Okay, so I'm gonna, hold on a second. I have to figure out what to do, but I have to, because I can't meet with you, I need you to tell me all that you did in the course. So there's a stamp out sheet. Maybe I'll ask you guys to upload a picture of your stamp out sheet, if you have it. And then I'm gonna ask you to look through your workbook and tell me the pages that you've completed, and then and also the stamps that you received on those pages. Okay, so anything we did up until the quarantine, that's going to be the ones that we stamped and we did. But we did some other pages also by video, right? So you can count those. You didn't get any stamps, but don't worry about that. Everybody got the same number of stamps. And then if you have attended all of the classes before, or you made one up or something, and you've done all the video lectures since, you get a perfect attendance bonus, okay? That's also extra credit on top of anything else you might have received. Okay, so did I explain what's coming, right? There's more stuff coming, but you won't see it until a little bit later this week, and you'll have at least 1 week to do it, okay? So the overview quiz and the stamp out sheet and the stamps received, worksheets completed, okay? So those are coming. Oh, and Star Quiz 3, that's the thing I wanted to tell you. Okay, Star Quiz 3. So why don't we do this? Let's practice. Hello, Siobhan, how are you? So we have let's get Stellarium out. And actually, I'm getting better at using it. I didn't realize it has even more tools than I realized. It's really quite cool. I'm getting out of the full screen mode because it doesn't work for you if I do that. And I'm going to turn, okay, I can show you guys some of the stuff. Actually, why don't I do that? Let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go to Stellarium. And let me show you some of the things to know about. First of all, turn off the atmosphere, right? So I can see the stars right now. I can turn off, there's meteor showers. These little green things are meteor showers. I can turn those off for now. And I don't want to see the star names because I want to quiz you right now. So I'm going to go over here to sky and viewing and turn off the labels. And then I'm going to close that up. Okay, I can zoom out a little bit. Oh, it still shows me the labels on the planets. That's all right, whatever. Okay, so everything's a little bit distorted. And actually, I don't want to look at it with the sun up. So I'm going to go ahead and change the time. And I'll go until, you know, like 7 o'clock tonight, maybe 8 o'clock, about 8 o'clock, okay? Oh, also, if you want to pause it right here, you're going to pause it. So actually, a little bit later, I'm going to ask you, if you want to do the exercise, you really need to know the time that you were born. If you don't know exactly, it's fine. Just put in some time. But if you know the time, that's actually you're going to be able to do the full assignment. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, I'm going to tell you when I was born. All right, so starting in this part of the sky, what is the name of this star or object? It's already says
Venus.
Venus.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right. The brightest thing up there. You must have noticed it if you've seen the stars lately. Can you see it, or is it too small? Now you can make my video the big one, right? Can you see it as big or no?
Yeah.
If you go in Zoom and you hover over the picture that you want, 3 dots show up, and then you can click that and say pin video. Try that. Then it makes it bigger. if you hover over the little picture, the video of my screen, see 3 dots, and then click that and spotlight video or pin video, one or the other. It should make it bigger. Or
No.
another way to do it is click the speaker view, I think is what it says, right? Try that one. And since I'm the only one talking right now, you should see me as big.
No, you're a small box and the screen you're showing is bigger than you.
Yeah. That's okay. The big screen is the one that I'm sharing. Okay, never mind. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Leave it alone. That's what I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure you're seeing that. Okay, good. All right. So Venus. Okay. So let's try to find what is the name of this star or object right here.
Aldebaran, right?
Aldebaran, right? The eye of the bull. And the neat thing about Stellarium, if you're using a PC, you left click and right click to turn it off. And then what is the name of this group of objects right here, this group of stars?
The Pleiades.
The Pleiades star cluster. In Japanese, what is it called?
Subaru.
Subaru, right? That's the fun thing about this one. Actually, and look, we can zoom right in and see a star cluster all here. What's the name of this star cluster?
Hades.
The V shape. Called the Hyades star cluster.
Hades.
Okay,
I
zooming
always
back
think of
out.
it as Hades.
That's okay. That's okay. And what is the name of this very bright star up here? What is the name of this star or object?
Capella.
Capella. Very good.
Oh, really?
Capella. And these are the kids. Capella means the woman, the mother goat. And this is the baby goats. Okay. Jumping over, I think I'm missing the twins. Okay, I'm missing the twins. What is the name of this twin brother? If this is Capella, this must be?
Castor.
Castor. And next to it?
Pollux.
Pollux, right, very good. And down here, what is the name of this bright object?
Procyon.
Procyon, very good, Procyon. And down here, the brightest star in the sky, what is the name?
Sirius.
Sirius, right, okay. And you can find it right here from the belt, it points towards it, right? So I'm actually, everything's all twisted, so you have to kind of be ready, be ready for slightly different orientations because that's what it might be, okay? So let's try constellations a little bit, right? So if I pointed to this star right here, this star is a member of a constellation. What is the proper name?
Canis Minor.
Canis Minor, very good, Canis Minor. And the common name?
Little dog.
The little dog, great. And this star is a member of a constellation near Sirius, right? What is the proper name?
Canis Major.
Canis Major, good. And the nickname, or not the nickname, the common name?
Big dog.
The big dog, right, the big dog. And one of these middle stars right here, the star is a member of a constellation. What is the proper name?
Orion.
Orion, the
Hunter.
hunter. Okay, one of these stars right here, anywhere in this region, not these two, but one of these, this one, is a member of a constellation. What is the proper name?
Gemini.
Gemini. And the common name?
Twins.
The twins, right? And up here, the star is a member of a constellation. What is the proper name?
Riga.
Auriga, the charioteer.
Charioteer.
Now, if you want to remember, you can actually turn on the labels and then even the artwork, okay? And you see he's holding the goat, right? The charioteer. Okay, but let's not cheat. All right. So, okay, so those are those. Oh, we forgot about this one. This star is a member of a constellation. What is the proper name?
Taurus.
Part of the V shape.
It's so
What is-
flipped.
Taurus, the bull. Okay.
Bull.
Let's go ahead and rotate the sky. Now, some of these stars are really high, in the sky. For example, this constellation is really high. It's actually almost directly overhead. So when you go look for it at night, I mean, actually, I could zoom out and I could show you, right?
Is
You
that
see how
Leo
it's
the
so
lion?
close to the middle? It's really in the middle. So that's the zenith point right in the middle. And it's very close to the zenith, right? So Leo the what?
Lion.
Leo the lion, okay. So this is our Leo, here's Leo. Now, the other teachers and I are debating if we use Stellarium to give you the quiz, We might give you an easier time and just turn the little lines on. Is that too easy?
No.
No. How many people, raise your hand, I would like that. Only one? Nobody else? Julia, you don't want the lines?
You
Siobhan?
should give 100% to
It's
those
too
who are
easy?
attending the classes.
Too easy? Okay. So turn the lines off? Oh, leave the lines on.
Like this is fun.
Lines on, okay, all right. So we're just debating because it's a difficult situation you're in. Hello, Amber, yay, okay. All right, so it's a difficult situation that you guys are in. So we don't want to be cruel, we want to be kind, but anyway. All right, so we got Leo the lion, and in between Leo and Gemini, what's the constellation called? Proper name.
Cancer.
Answer the
crab.
The crab.
But if you zoom in, there's something really cool. You zoom in, you can already see that little cluster. What is the name of the cluster?
M44.
Beehive
The
cluster.
beehive cluster. M
44.
M
44.
44. M44, okay? Beehive cluster. Actually, I could just go over here. If you want to see, you can type in the names of something. M44, and there it is, M44, the beehive cluster. Is that kind of cool? If you press a space bar, it centers the object, whatever it is, okay? So M44, the beehive cluster, is in the center of Cancer, the crab. Okay, how about let's look at Leo. Leo has a very bright star at the bottom of the backwards question mark. What is the name of that star? It's a regal lion. What's the name of the star?
Regulus.
Regulus. Oh, that didn't work. Regulus. Oh, that didn't work.
Where's
Try
all
again. What the heck? I can't click on it. What is it? Oh, there's a satellite there. That's why. Here, now I click on it. Regulus. Okay. That was awkward. Sorry. What about the tail star? Leo, tail star. The nebula. Okay. All right. So we got Leo. We can see it between, we see Gemini, Cancer, Leo. That's the order, by the way, of the zodiac, which we'll talk about tonight. How about below Leo? We see this nice bright star all by itself. There's nobody else very bright nearby. I think, actually, let me try turning the lines off for a second, just to show you, right? So see how it's the brightest star around? What's the name of that star?
Is that
It's called Alphard, right? It's in this constellation, which is very long. And this is the head, that's right, Hydra. So Hydra is the proper name. What's the common name?
Water
water
snake.
The
snake?
water snake, okay. And then down here is the very dim constellations. It does look like a big goblet, which might help you
It's a cup.
remember.
It's a
It's
cup.
Crater the Cup. And how about this one? 4 stars.
Corvus.
That's
Corvus the
The crow.
I keep thinking the
Corvus the
raven.
Crow, right? Okay.
The crow.
So sweep over here. Let's take a look right here. You obviously can see this big shape right here. What is the proper name of this constellation?
What?
That
You don't
looks like
remember?
a-
Okay.
Oh,
Let's see.
Earth
How about if I
Major.
turn off the lines?
Is that
Got a
Virgo?
handle. Okay. It's also called the Big Dipper. So what's the proper name?
Ursa Major, right?
Ursa Major, right. Sorry, I just couldn't hear you. Okay, Ursa Major, what's the common name?
The
Big Bear?
Dipper.
Big Bear, and the nickname?
The Big Dipper.
Big Dipper, okay. So now, if you use these 2 stars, how many steps?
5.
5.
5, okay. And that gets you to the star. What's the name of the star or object?
Polaris.
Polaris, the North Star, okay. And this constellation is proper name?
Canis, Ursa Minor.
Ursa Major.
Ursa Minor, the little bear, and also called the
Little Dipper.
Little Dipper, great. Now, what is the name of this constellation over here that looks like a letter W?
Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia,
The goddess,
she's,
queen. The
queen, very good, the queen, and she's sitting in a
Throne.
Throne.
throne. We call it the throne. That's a nickname. Okay. And the center star is called Navi. You don't have to know that, but I think it's kind of cool. Navi. Anyways, you can remember Navi, navigation. I don't know, Navi. Okay. And you go from Navi, the center star, to the Polaris, and you draw an imaginary line. you can see the brightest star I passed is this one right here. And I don't know the name of that star. I mean, I actually never learned it. It's ERTH. Okay, I'm going to learn that now. ERTH. E-R-R-A-I. ERTH. Well, that's kind of interesting. ERTH. Okay. And anyways, but the point is that it's the tip of the shape right here. What is the proper name? Okay, we can hide the ground, and now we can see the whole thing.
Oh,
Called Cepheus.
The little house?
Cepheus, the what?
The little house.
It's the king. It's the husband of Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia. Okay.
and
All
those
right,
are
and-
Andromeda's parents, right?
That's right. That's right. The parents of Andromeda. Okay. Did I not tell you that story?
Yeah.
I did. Okay. Okay. Now, wrapped around the Little Dipper, what is the name of this constellation? Proper name?
Draco.
Draco the dragon. Draco the dragon. Very good. Draco the dragon. Okay. All right. Now, our final constellation, actually two constellations. Sorry, last two constellations. Okay. So take the Big Dipper again, but this time focus on the handle, right? The handle is curved. It has an arc. And so you follow the arc to the star. What is the star? Arc to?
Arcturus.
Arcturus is the name of the star, right? What is the constellation that Arcturus is in?
Booties.
Boötes, the herdsman,
Boötes.
right? And it has a nickname because of the shape. What's the nickname?
Ice cream
Ice
cone?
cream cone.
The ice cream cone, right? Okay, it's sideways. This scoop of ice cream is gonna fall off right now, but in a little while, it'll be right side up. Did I guys ever tell you the story about when I almost fell out of a car?
No.
Never mind, maybe later, but anyways. When I was a kid, I was like 8 years old. We would go to church every Sunday. And then after church, my mom would take us to the ice cream store. Do you know what ice cream store we went to? McConnell's Ice Cream. Yeah, it was on the corner of Mission and State Street. It was my favorite place on Sunday. I was so happy. And we would then drive up Mission Street. We would go past the Mission and then go over APS to our house, right? And so we picked up the ice cream. We're all eating our ice creams. All three of myself and my two brothers are in the front seat, and we don't even have seatbelts on because there's not enough seatbelts, right? This is way before seatbelt laws. And we're going up, Mission, everybody's having a good time eating their ice creams. And then we come to the Mission, and there's this giant turn, very big turn. And apparently I didn't close the door right, because as we go around the turn, the door to the car flew open. And my mom didn't notice. She was just driving along. She didn't even pay attention. And I'm hanging out the door, and I'm looking down at the ground, and I'm thinking, if I let go, I'm going to fall and get run over. So I'm like, no, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. And when we finally stopped going through the turn, I couldn't close the door. It was too hard to close the door. I finally closed the door, and I still had my ice cream cone.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, yeah, that's random. Okay. Boötes, the herdsman, the ice cream cone. Sorry about that. You guys now know more about me. Okay. Here we go. So you arc to Arcturus, and then you spike to the star right here. What's the star?
Spica.
Spica. And Spica is in a big constellation. We're going to talk about her today. What is the proper name of the constellation?
Virgo?
Virgo, the maiden, right? Virgo, the maiden. Okay, so those are our constellations. And so you should practice, because at some point over the next week and a half, you'll have to take a Star Quiz 3 on Canvas, okay? I don't have any other way to give it to you, unless you guys can think of another way. Is there another way? Everybody come to the museum and stand 6 feet apart, and I'll hold up a no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I already know I can't do that. Okay, so you practice those constellations. Okay, so we'll come back to this in just a moment, because actually this will be our tool for later tonight. But we are now going to jump into the slide set. Okay, so I put it up on Canvas for you. The only problem is I did have to edit it just a little bit, because I forgot to edit it for you guys. But I do have a version now. But let me start it up. There's just tiny little differences. It's really it's nothing, no big deal actually at all. Okay, so we're gonna look at our slideshow. And this is an introduction to astrology, right? This is not a typical class for us. And I'm wrong about this, but based on our previous date. It's the 31st day of Aries in the age of Pisces, 20 years into what is known as the Common Era for purely historical reasons. So this, I just want to give credit, Jared Goldberg, who is a Taurus with a Gemini rising, is the adjunct instructor who made this for us. And I'm really grateful to him because it's very fun. He actually took this exercise in astrology that is usually a little more boring and made it kind of fun. So I'm really happy. He put in more things than I usually put in. I love it. So I just stole it. So anyways, here we go. So you got to finish the indoor telescope quiz, and then your participation will be due before the next lecture, which is next week. And next week is our last class, okay? And I'll tell you more. Okay, so we'll start off with a little bit of history, and then some of the concepts, and then what does it even mean, right? What does it all mean? What does astrology actually mean? Can you live a better life through astrology? Okay, that's the question. I'm just kidding. All right, so you guys obviously already know this, but astrology was the beginning of astronomy. And of course, one of the most important parts of it is that we get time, right? Time is all about the motion of the sky. So whether we're talking about a day or a month or a year, it's all based on astronomy, or astrology was the original. You guys know that the days of the week are named for one of the celestial objects, the sun, the moon, or the 5 visible planets, right? So remember, Sunday is the day of the sun. Wow, that one's tough, not so hard. Moon Day, which is today. Today is Moon Day, right? Does everybody say that? I have my class on Moon Day. Moon Day, right? Everybody wants to say Moon Day. Just start saying that all the time. My lab is on Moon Day. Okay, anyways, if you know Spanish, it's a little bit easier for some of them, or any Latin language, actually. Martes, what is it in French? Anybody speak French? Yeah, what is French Tuesday?
Mardi.
Mardi, which is again Mars Day, right? That's even the same, right? Martes. And what about Wednesday's miércoles? What is it in French?
Mercredi.
Mercredi, which is again kind of gives me the feeling of Mercury, right? So we have Mars Day, Tuesday. Wednesday is Mercury Day. Jueves is Jupiter or Jove. That one you need to know that Jove is another name for Jupiter. So that one didn't help. Viernes, and what about in French? Friday.
Vendredi.
Vendredi, which yeah, you could kind of get Venus Day, right? Venus Day. And then Sábado, actually English is a little easier for this one, Saturn Day. So we have a day of the week associated with the sun, the moon, and then the 5 visible planets, right? So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, right? Those are the planets that, now astrology has gone on and enhanced the reading to include Uranus and Neptune and even Pluto. And now that Pluto's been demoted, it's kind of like, well, what do you do with Pluto? You still count it in the astrological reading. You'll still find it in charts. Astrologers did not know that Pluto was a dwarf planet, okay? But anyways, it's just kind of funny, right? It's like the size of a moon. And yet, up until a few years ago, it was considered a full-fledged planet. So heavenly bodies were used to characterize the present and predict the future. So here are some pictures for you. These are, so actually really interesting. Jared did a little research and he found that there's evidence of cavemen carving the phases of the moon 20,000 years before BCE, right? So that's 22,000 years ago, which is kind of amazing. I had no idea.
Party.
It's amazing, isn't it? That this is being done. And then in Western astrology, the one that we're gonna talk about, began in Mesopotamia, and then a modern version of it was probably around the time of Alexander the Great, 500 BCE. So the modern astrology that you're aware of, the one that we have the 12 signs of the zodiac, was kind of founded about 2,500 years ago. Okay, that's where it became. And so the Greeks and Romans were scientific, spiritual love, looking at the sky. Astrology spread throughout Europe. So actually, Jared is a very funny guy. Look at what he did. He's like, he doesn't see Aquarius. He sees the camel, right? He doesn't see Aries. He sees a cane. And this isn't Cancer. This is the slingshot.
Slingshot.
It's the cup and the party. Hey man, let's have a party. He's a funny guy. Here's the sleeping giraffe, the wind chime. Okay. The snake. Okay. And the headless angel. Okay. I don't know. Where does it even get that? I don't even see it now. Oh man.
Well, it looks like it has a harp and yeah, it does. Just
I
no
can kind
head.
of see that, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Usually we call it the teapot, but I don't see the teapot. I'm not sure where the teapot is.
Oh yeah.
You see a teapot?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
There's the
Oh, here's the
spout.
teapot.
There's the
Yeah, there it
handle.
is. This is the handle. This is the lid, and this is the spout, right?
Oh, I see it the other way.
Well, this is the handle.
Hmm.
This is the spout. It's missing the lines to draw it, but anyway. Oh, can I just mark this up? I don't know how to do this. Let's see.
Mm.
Ooh, let's see. Oh, this is cool. Ooh, why did I not know about this? I didn't know I could actually do this. Hold on, let's see. Let's have fun.
Sean.
There's the handle. This is the lid. This is the spout, right? And then it goes like this. There's the teapot. Oh, I got a teapot. Okay, so that's our teapot. And actually, if I were teaching you the summertime constellations, this shows up in the summertime. This is my sign, by the way. This is my sign. I'll tell you about that later. I'm supposed to be Sagittarius. But right off the tip of the teapot, over and up, right here is actually where supermassive black hole is, Sagittarius A star. Anybody remember that one? If you took the lecture already, or if you're in the lecture, you're going to hear more about that. That's the supermassive black hole. Sagittarius. Oh, writing is a little hard. Sagittarius A star. Oh, it's really hard. This is hard. Okay. It looks hard. It looks easy, but it's not. Okay, so back to my story. Let's get off of this pen. Oh, that's cool though. I like this. Ooh, I could have used that. All right. Anyways, how do I do that? Erase all ink. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. All right, moving forward. So actually other cultures have astrology as well. In fact, you find, I don't know how I get rid of this pointer thing. Oh, there we go. Other cultures, so this is the Mayan calendar. The Chinese had their own version of the zodiac, and they have been following the lunar calendar ever since, right? I mean, for thousands of years, the Chinese lunar calendar has been in place. And actually it says dating back to the 14th century, but I think it's even older than that. And the Mayans had a calendar. You guys might remember in 2012, the end of the world was coming. You guys remember that? And then it didn't end. And that's because it was not really the end of the world. It was just the start of the new cycle. So anyways, yeah. So different calendars, different astrology, but very precise actually. The Mayan calendar was very good. Okay, so modern astrology, just to let you know, Johannes Kepler actually was an astrologer. And he was the one, if you remember, who came up with the laws of planetary motion. So he was also an astrologer, right? And actually believed that the heavens were perfect. One of the cool things that I love that Jared figured out is that Johannes Kepler was one of the first people to realize that sometimes Jupiter and Saturn are super close together in the sky and actually look like a single star. And so he actually calculated how often that happened, and he showed that it happened probably around the time of Jesus's birth. And it could have been the Star of Bethlehem. That's actually one of the ideas, which I think is really fun. So it gives an explanation for, how a star could have appeared and then disappeared, right? It was just a temporary conjunction of planets, Jupiter and Saturn, maybe even three, by the way. Evangeline Adams is a modern astrologer. Well, not modern, 19th century astronomer, astrologer, one more time. She was arrested for fraud several times, but never convicted. So anyways, that's modern. And Adolf Hitler, that one's a little bit negative, but he used it apparently for a while to make some of his decisions, his war decisions, until he decided that they were against him, and then he put them in the concentration camp.
Wow.
Anyway, and now there is an app if you have an iPhone. I don't think I can get this on I don't know, maybe I can, but it is a personalized astrology app which will guide you through your life. And it has a 92,000 reviews with a 4.9 star rating. Their Twitter account is hot. Okay. This is obviously written by somebody younger than I am. Who's on Twitter? Anybody on Twitter? You guys Twitter people? No Twitter?
No.
Okay, good. Then you're like me. I'm not on Twitter. I mean, I have a Twitter account, but whatever. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to, if you're taking notes, I'm going to ask you to record the really cool astrological signs in a second. But before we do, let's try to understand what is each celestial object associated with. So your most important astrological sign, your sign, is actually called your sun sign. That's the correct term. And it should be where the sun was located on the day of your birth. Okay? So it's supposed to dictate a big thing about your personality, right? The moon sign, where is the moon on the day of your birth? Actually, at the time of your birth, even, it should dictate your emotions and your inner self. Okay. There are 12 houses. Each house is a boundary of a zodiac constellation. Would you write that down? A house is a boundary of a zodiac constellation. If our pictures are hiding, can you go ahead and minimize them for a second? Because you want to understand this little thing. Your ascendant is the one that is in the eastern part of the sky. The ascendant constellation is the constellation that is just rising above the eastern horizon. And then the descendant down here is going to be the house that is setting at the time of your birth. Okay. So there's the ascendant and the descendant, and there's other stuff. You don't really need to know most of this stuff. So this is more entertainment. Actually, this is what this is. But
Will there be copies of these slides?
Yeah, they're on Canvas.
Oh.
If you go to the assignment for today, you can click them. Okay.
Yeah, I just have you on full screen, so I don't see anything else.
Oh, hold on a second. You don't see the slides?
No, yeah, I'm just saying I see the slides.
Oh, you can't see anything else. Yeah, look at it later. It's okay.
Okay.
You can look at it later. Okay. So there are 12 houses, which means 12 zodiac signs that we know are associated with the zodiac. And what are they exactly? They are actually, don't write this all down. This is just, this one is supposed to be the one that's highest overhead. And this one is in the opposite part of the sky. And this one is the one we said is on the eastern horizon. And this one is on the western horizon. Okay. So these are the houses which are associated with your horoscope. Okay. So don't worry too much about that. Okay. But these are some words you should write down. These are important for astrology. Conjunction, right? We talked about that last week, but we're going to use it tonight. In astrology, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's within 10 degrees, right? If two objects are within 10 degrees of each other, they are aligned, and that makes them more powerful, right? So in astrology, conjunction is something we look for that, right? It's meant to reinforce some aspect of the heavens, A sextile is 1/6 of the ecliptic. We'll talk about that. Actually, you guys know what the ecliptic is, right? What's the ecliptic? We talked about it last week. The path that the sun follows through the sky, right? Yeah. The path that the sun follows through the sky. So the constellations that are along the ecliptic are called the zodiac constellation. So if they're 60 degrees, there's kind of like, it's not very far away. It's just a mild harmony, they'd say. Okay. A square is an angle of 90 degrees away. A trine is an angle of 120 degrees, which is harmony, right? Why would 120 be harmony? What's special about 120?
Opposite?
It's 1/3 of the entire circle, right? So these are the special ones. 1/6 1/4, 1/3, and then the last one, 1/2 of the entire circle, right? Those are special numbers. They're mathematically special. They're meant to be somehow enhanced, okay? So trine is this, and opposition means, you know what that means. It's a half circle away, okay? Retrograde, we know what that is. Retrograde means the planet appears to be going backwards, okay? Okay, so we got some terms there. And then let's look at ours. These are the symbols, okay? So please write down the symbols. So this is the symbol for Mercury. Here's Mercury. It looks like the symbol for a woman plus little horns, right? So that's interesting. That's what it is. Venus is the symbol for a woman. Okay, this is the symbol for a woman. Okay, Earth we know is just a cross. Mars is the symbol for a man, right? Circle with and a single arrow. Jupiter, I don't know, what does it look like to you? Could
The
use this.
fancy 4.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a 4. Sure, a 4. Like a funky 4 somehow. Maybe help you remember that, right? And then this one, oh, this is a very funny one. It starts like a letter H, kind of, but a little tail, and then it has a cross. This one, he's giving you this one on purpose because it matches what we're going to be doing later. We're actually going to go to a website where you can type in the date and time of your birth, and it gives you a full astrological reading for free, which is good, right? Don't pay money for it. Don't pay money. Okay, get it for free. And this is not always the symbol that's used, so, but it is for today. It's fine. Okay, I don't know, what does it look like? What do you think? Anybody?
Looks like a spacecraft. Like
A spacecraft.
Jedi,
Yeah,
like
actually,
a Jedi.
Yeah, Jedi. Okay, almost like the Enterprise, except it's a small
Yeah.
circle. Could be like that. Yeah, that's good. That's great. Good, good. And then this last one, so that's Uranus. So we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and the last one would be
Neptune.
Neptune. And this is the trident of Poseidon, right? So that makes sense. So these are the associated things: the self, the ego for the sun, emotions for the moon. Mercury is communications. If you can't read it, just minimize. Communications and wit, right? Venus, fertility, beauty, enthusiasm. Mars, strength and aggression. Luck for Jupiter. I would have thought Saturn was luck, but anyways, Jupiter's luck. Saturn is status and ambition. Uranus, originality. Neptune, dreams and illusions. And Pluto, which isn't even listed, is death, rebirth, and subconscious forces. Okay. So again, I'm not going to quiz you on any of this. This is more for entertainment, okay? And oops, what did I do? How do I get rid of it? Oh, I hit escape. There we go. Okay, so these are the zodiac constellations. So how many zodiac constellations do you know?
12.
There's 12 zodiac constellations. But if you look carefully, there's a little problem, right? Right over here in today's constellations, in today's astronomy, there's actually a gap between Scorpius and Sagittarius, okay? So here's the handle and here's the spout of Sagittarius, okay? And there is a gap between them. So if your birthday falls, actually anybody here between November 29th and December 18th, anybody in that window? So just me? Okay, so just me. It turns out you're not in any of the 12 zodiac constellations. And so actually in Japan, for example, they have adopted a 13th zodiac sign. And you can see it drawn right here. It fills in the gap between Scorpius and Sagittarius, and it's called Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. So I do want to share with you a little story there. You know, in the original zodiac constellations, which were created 2,500 years ago, the first constellation of the year was always Aries. Aries was the beginning of the zodiac constellation. And you knew that a year had gone by because the sun would come back to Aries, right? When the sun is in Aries, the ram, it's the beginning of the year. So this was the way that they knew that the year was beginning, because the sun would be back in Aries. All right, so we'll talk more about that. All right, so anyways, this is too much information, but this is how we do it today. We don't actually do it with the stars anymore. We do it with the dates of the year. So in astrology, we just divide up the dates of the year into 12 equal pieces, right? They're each about 30 days long. And then they get associated with one of the signs. These are no longer necessarily where the sun was on the day of your birth. And so I want you to know that what you think you are, if we go and look at where the sun is on the day of your birth, you may discover it's not your real sign. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the truth about me in just a minute, and I'll show you how to do this work that we're going to be doing. So here are the rest of the constellations, okay? Okay, so you don't have to know them in order. Okay, so now what's the big deal about astrology? What you do is you start with your sun sign right over here. And you're not going to do all of this, don't worry. But an astrologer wants to know, where are all the other important objects, right? So the sun is where you start. But where is the moon? So by the way, on this chart, the moon is across. What would that be called?
Opposite or
opposition, right? That's opposition. And then we have, all these other planets and, the moon. And then we have Mercury is right here. And by the way, Mercury is pretty much conjunction, right? Would you see how close it is? And then there is, okay, I don't see it. Anybody see Venus? Oh, here's Venus. Venus is over here. Venus, and then comes Mars right here. And then comes the number 4 down here, Jupiter. And then Saturn. And then Uranus and Neptune appear to be lined up. This is not Pluto. I don't know what this is. I have no idea. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Don't know. I'm not sure. Anyways, don't worry about it. Okay, so it turns out also, it will tell you, astrology will tell you who the right person is for you, okay? Before you fall in love, check their zodiac sign, okay? This is important. You don't want to end up miserable like me. No, I'm just kidding. My wife and I are incredibly actually, I don't even know how to read this, to be honest.
Mary's not watching, is she?
What do you think? Yeah, if there's a heart there, is it good or bad? You would think that would be good, right? Okay, so I'm Sagittarius. I'm Sagittarius. Here's my Sagittarius. And my wife is Aquarius. So let's go see. I got a little red heart. Okay, but it's wrong. I got a big red heart for her. So anyways, it's got to be wrong. Anyways, because I'm not really Sagittarius. That's why. Okay, so then my sign is not even showing up. All right, so I don't believe in this. Okay, but anyways, this is, so there may be something to it, but it's not a science. I want to make sure you understand that. So don't pay money for it and don't let it rule your life. But if you have fun with it, fine, no problem. Okay. So what does it all mean? Okay, so where was the sun when you were born? Okay, that's the question, because that is how you get your sun sign. So I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I'm going to tell you the exact day and time of my birth. Don't use that to hack into my accounts. But I was born. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this for a moment. I'm going to tell you my birthday. I was born on December 7th, 1967, and I was born about 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so according to astrology, I should be a Sagittarius. That's what I am. I'm Sagittarius. Okay, but what I want to do is show you that according to astronomy, I may not be. Okay, so that's the idea, right? I'm going to use stellarium to go back in time to the moment of my birth, and I'm going to look around the sky and see what was there. Okay, so number 1, let's find our sun. I'm back to stellarium. Everybody see stellarium? Mm-hmm. Okay, number 1, we have to change it to the day and time of your birth. Okay, so you can zoom back out. Actually, if you want to, it's a little confusing to not see the ground, just a little confusing. I may turn it off at some point. But if you look, let's go ahead and turn on the zodiac now. You go to the sky and viewing options, and then you turn on markings, and you turn on ecliptic. J2000 is what I use. Okay. And then, yeah, okay. And I'll go ahead and turn on the constellations too. So you can actually see, actually, maybe we should go ahead and show you, let's change the day and time just for a second. Actually, before I do my horoscope, let's go ahead and do, let's turn the sky back to, there's the sun, okay? So we can see that the sun is in which constellation right now? Well, actually, this is a little tricky. There's no boundaries for some reason. I don't know why. I can't figure out how to turn on boundaries. If anybody figures that out, that would be really great. So I don't actually know the right answer. Although if I look at this, so you see here's Pisces, and here's Aries. And if I look, it seems like maybe it's a little bit closer to Pisces. I don't know, I'm not sure. So the problem with this activity is we don't have the boundaries. I can't figure out how to turn them on. If you figure it out, please let me know how to do it, because I don't know how to do it. It says you should be able to. Constellation boundaries, anybody see it? Constellation. Oh, there it is, B. What the heck? B. Capital B. Oh, it didn't work.
I think it did. It's just really faint.
Huh?
I saw those. They're just really faint. They're like little red lines.
Oh, are they?
very
Oh,
faint.
they are there. Oh, they're there. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I could cry. Okay, cool. All right, great. So now we can tell which one is the sun in.
Aries.
Definitely in Aries. Oh, that's awesome. Why did I not know that? Wow. Okay, now we know. You guys are going to get a better time than my last class. Because you figured out, you press the letter B, and it shows you they're very faint, though. They are very, very faint. Okay, so it's definitely an Aries. And what we're going to do is you can just, you can click the sun, and then press the space bar, and it's going to center itself on the sun. And what I'm going to do is, what do I want to do? I want to advance time. I guess I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I want to just advance. I'm just going to, you can hold it down if you want. But the idea is that as the days progress, the sun moves along the ecliptic. So what happens after Aries? We get Taurus, the bull, right? And after Taurus comes, what comes after Taurus? Who knows?
Gemini?
Gemini, the twins, right? You can hold it down. After Gemini comes?
Cancer?
Cancer, the crab. After Cancer comes?
Leo?
Leo, the lion. After Leo comes?
Virgo?
Virgo, the maiden. Now she's really big. So she takes a long time. Okay, so now I can actually show you the gap, right? After Virgo comes?
Libra?
Libra, the scales. Then comes Scorpius. Now, let me just take a moment here to talk about Scorpius. Take a look for a second here. This is the first day of Scorpius. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth day, and then you're done. Now you're not in Scorpius anymore, okay? And where are you? Well, you're in between Scorpius and Sagittarius. You are in Ophiuchus. You're actually in Ophiuchus. So November, I said November 29th. Maybe, I thought it was November 29th. Let's look again. Feel like I did that. Okay, maybe I have to go back to 0. Oh, but then I can't see the sun. Oh, darn it. Oh, hold on. Turn off the ground. That's definitely. Okay, so about 9 in the morning on the 29th, it's leaving Scorpius, okay? Okay, so now zooming back out. So after Scorpius comes, well, it depends, right? If you want to call it, if you want to say Ophiuchus, okay, say Ophiuchus. And then right around the 18th, I think, the 18th, it enters Sagittarius, okay? So between the 29th and the 18th, you're in Ophiuchian. That's me. Okay, so Sagittarius, and then comes Capricornus, and then comes Aquarius, and after Aquarius comes Pisces. Okay, so there's Pisces. And then we're back to the beginning. We're back to Aries again. Okay, so that's our complete cycle. So now I'm going to go ahead and reveal the date and time of my birth, and you guys are going to do something similar for yourself. Okay, you don't have to tell anybody. So you're going to put in the date, the year, 1967. Okay, the month. Oh, how do I do that? All right. Select it. There you go. And the day. Okay, that didn't work. I'll do it by hand. There we go, 7th. Okay, and I was born at 3 in the morning, approximately. I think it probably took more than a couple minutes to be born, so that's good enough. Okay, so take a look right here. Can you guys see the sun? And what constellation is the sun in? And the answer is it's in Ophiuchus. Even though I'm supposed to be Sagittarius, it's not in Sagittarius. So you're going to find out that you may not be the sign that you think you are. Do you know what sign you are, Julia?
I'm Libra. Libra.
Virgo?
Libra.
Bigger? Libra. So maybe you're not going to be Libra. You're not going to be Libra. No. How about you, Erica? You know your sign?
Aries.
Aries? Probably not going to be Aries. How about you, Siobhan?
Virgo.
You might be a Virgo still, because Virgo is huge, right? So you may still be a Virgo, but you may not be. Depends on where you were in Virgo, but we'll see. And we'll talk more about why that is. But anyways, okay. So you start off and you ask the question, where is your sun? So this is my sun sign. My sun sign is Ophiuchus, right? Ophiuchus, sorry, Ophiuchus, not Ophiuchus. I misspelled that, missay that. Okay, so what's the next most important body for me to track?
The moon.
The moon would be next. So you just go to the search. You can close this window with date and time, by the way. And you can go to the moon. You go to search and then moon. And it goes to the moon. Okay, and I can just look where it is. It's in Aquarius, which is the same sign as my wife. Emotions, right? Oh, man. That explains it. I was destined to marry her, right? Mary is Aquarius, so anyways, I don't know. Not sure. Okay, now you're going to go through all of the 5 other planets and find the location. And so we'll just go through that. We'll just quickly do that and then try to think about what that means. So Mercury. Oh, I love that we found the boundaries. Okay, Mercury is in, looks like I'm in Scorpius, right? I'm in the constellation of Scorpius. That's great. And then I'll jump to Venus. So Mercury was, I forgot what that meant, but you guys will have to interpret what this means. Venus is in Virgo, okay? The maiden, that's, interesting, okay? And then what's next? Mars, my aggression. Okay, my Mars is in Capricornus, which is a water sign, right? Actually, Capricornus is a funny creature. Do you guys know what it is?
Is it a
Anybody know what it is?
hippopotamus?
It's called a sea goat, right? It's
Oh.
half goat, half fish or something, like a sea serpent kind of thing. This weird mythological creature. Okay. And then we have, let's see, after Mars comes Jupiter. And you should keep going, right? Even past the days of the week one, but Jupiter is in Leo. Oh, bold, very good, Leo, bold. That is, what was Jupiter supposed to mean again? I forgot. You guys write it down? All right, I'm gonna go to my horoscope page in a few minutes and you guys will see what it means. Let's see, the next one, Saturn. But I like Leo. Leo's a cool constellation. Okay, Saturn is right on the boundary. Oh my goodness, that means I get both, right? It's half in, no, it's not, never mind, it's Pisces. Just call it Pisces. Don't get confused. I know it looks like it might be half, but actually it actually looks like it's really in this other one, but just ignore that. Just call it Pisces. Just pick the constellation closest. I mean, already you might see some problems though, right? It's in this other constellation called Cetus, the sea serpent, right? Not sea serpent, the sea monster. Okay, and then we've got Uranus. Find Uranus. And Uranus, oh, Uranus is in Virgo as well. Wow, see, that's a conjunction if they're close together. Very interesting. That reinforces them. That's love. And Uranus, I forgot what that is. Mysticism. Neptune. Okay, Neptune. Oh, Neptune's Libra. Okay, Julia. Okay, Neptune. Okay. And then the last one, let's go Pluto, right? Where's Pluto? Little Pluto. Where are you, Pluto? Oh, I don't know what to say. Where are you? I don't know. Pluto looks like it's outside of that too. Okay, so what do you want to call it? It's actually in Coma Berenice. Oh my gosh, that's not a zodiac constellation. You have to pick and choose. Which one do you think it looks closer to, Leo or Virgo?
Leo.
It's right on the tail of Leo.
Yeah, so go Leo. Okay, I agree. Actually, that's a really good, interesting point. Once upon a time, Leo was a much bigger constellation, and this was the end of the tail of Leo. That's actually, that's historically was true. This was the tuft of hairs on the end of the tail of Leo the lion, right? Okay, so I just showed you kind of a little bit. Now there is something, it turns out that Jared wanted you to try to talk about the angles a little bit. Let me go back to the sun again. The first angle, the angle between the sun and the moon, is kind of important, okay? So it turns out there's a tool in Stellarium that allows you to measure angles between two planetary bodies. And you go over here and it looks like a little, it's actually, this is a true astrolabe. This is actually has all kinds of really extra little things, not simple astrolabe. And if you click on this and you go to PC, which is the planetary calculator. Did we use this before? I think we did.
No.
No, we didn't use it? Yeah, we used it. Okay, you don't remember. We used it when we got the angle to Mercury from the sun. You remember? You forgot. Okay, that's all right. Don't worry. That was last week, I know. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and click the sun, make sure the sun is the first, or it doesn't matter. And the second, I'm going to pick the moon. Okay, so you pick sun and moon. And then right here, I can get the angle between them. So for me, the angle is 74 degrees and 43 minutes. That's almost 75 minutes, right? 75 degrees. So it's not 60 and it's not 90. It's actually somewhere between that, right? So it's not one of the magical numbers, but it's not so far away. Do you know what phase the moon would be if it's 75 degrees away from the sun? Can anybody figure out what that would be? What phase would it be? I'll give you a hint. First quarter is 90 degrees away.
So it would be a waxing crescent.
That's right. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I got it right. Good for you. You did. You said waxing crescent. Now let's find the moon. And then you can actually look at the moon on the day you were born, right? This is the phase of the moon. And then you can make a picture and look at that. What do you see? Now, you wouldn't know for sure that this is waxing crescent, except that where is it compared to the sun? Is it behind or in front of the sun?
In front of?
Yeah, you can't tell. Sorry, I'll show you. If I back up the time a little bit or move forward. Well, yeah, so let me look at the east. Sorry, let me look at the east. If I look at the east, there's the sun rising, right? Do you see the moon? Not yet. So the moon is behind the sun, right? And so what kind of a phase would that be? That's actually a waxing crescent, because when the sun finally sets, the moon is up in the sky, right? And that's actually a sign that this is a waxing crescent kind of sun. Okay, so you can see 43% illuminated, okay? Actually, it's getting close to a first quarter though. But not yet, okay? All right, anyways, waxing crescent. Okay, so back to, I forgot to do some stuff. Let me leave the time, what do you call it? Constellations on. And I'm gonna go back to 3 o'clock in the morning. See, the sun wouldn't be up actually at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, but don't worry about that. That's not relevant, okay? But remember that we wanna look in 2 places for the constellation that we see. And actually you wanna start off with east, okay? So the constellation that is right where the E is, you can turn off the ground if you want and just look for the letter E. What constellation is my ascendant constellation?
Virgo.
It's Virgo, right? Virgo is clearly my ascendant, okay? And then in the west, where the stars are going down, I want to look and figure out what constellation it is. I can't see the constellation, it's hidden. I turn off the ground again, and now, okay, so again, don't use Cetus. What would you use? So you're going to use the zodiac version. You're going to use what? Oh, it's still not clear, but actually, it's a little confusing. What would you pick?
Pisces.
What is right on the horizon?
Pisces.
It looks like this is not Pisces. Pisces will actually be below the horizon. If you look, right? So Pisces is below, but Aries is right above the horizon. So I would go with Aries as my descending constellation, okay? Now, if you're confused by that, you can just count, right? So if you count, so from Aries, how many constellations does it take to get to Virgo, right? So let's see, we got, so from Aries, so we got, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, actually, I think it should be Pisces based on that. So use Pisces after all. I guess so. It's really hard to say though.
It's not
I
the
think,
whole
you know what I think it is that it's hard to tell where the horizon is. I think I can't quite tell. I'd use Pisces. I'd use Pisces. Okay. So you guys got that? Those are the ascendant and descendant constellations. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is let me show you the actual problems that you're going to be working on. And as you're going to do, all you're going to do is just do your own constellation, and then you're going to repeat it for a child who was born today. And so let's go to your assignment here. Okay, and I'm going to preview.
Can I use the web version to do the assignment?
What was that?
Can I use the web version to do the assignment?
For most of it, it's not going to work. You can't use the other one?
It's just because it's really big. I didn't download it.
You can't get it to work? You have to download it, but it is better because I don't think you can turn on the boundaries. So that would be one reason to try to use it. Just try if you can. If it doesn't work, do your best. It's okay. I'm not going to be, it's okay. This is just meant to be entertainment. So don't, if it's too frustrating, it's not fun anymore, right? So if you try and you can't get it to work, just do the web one. It's fine, okay? All right.
Okay.
So let's go through. All right. So what are your true signs? Okay, so we did this already. Can everybody see the assignment here? Question 1.
Yeah.
What is the true sign? So set up the date, hit F5 or whatever. Write down the date. If you don't want to tell me the date, that's fine. Just tell me that you did it. And then, but it's time sensitive. So you want to put in the time. And if you don't know the time exactly, just guess. It's just put in some time, okay? Because we want to have something to use for our astrology chart. Okay, so what is first one? Where is the sun? Where are true signs? Okay. Oh, this one. Never mind. All you do is put in your time and date. Your date and time. That's it. And the day. Oh, and the city where you were born. Okay, if you know that. Okay. Did I tell you about that? Oops. I was born in Santa Barbara, so I didn't have to change that. Should I show you guys that? Let's do that real quick, just so you can see. I can't stop. Okay, hold on. go back to Stellarium. I forgot to show you that. Okay, if you go over here to this, this compass right here, you can type in the name of a city right here. So let's say I was born in, I lived there for a while, New York. Okay, I don't know what to say about that. New York. Manhattan, maybe is what I should say. Manhattan. Oh, there we go. See, Manhattan, New York. And when I do that, it changes my location. Okay. So you can put, where were you born, Julia?
São Paulo.
Sao Paulo? Okay. I'm missing Sao Paulo. There you go. It's right there. Okay. So you can pick that one. You pick that one. Okay. So anybody else? You just type in the name and change it, right? So I was born in Santa Barbara. So I want to put Santa Barbara. The Philippines. No, Santa Barbara, United States. Okay. All right. So we're back in town. All right. Everybody got that? Okay. So let's go. And back to the assignment. Okay. So just write down the day and time of your birth and your city. Okay, now scroll down. Turn off the landscape, turn off the atmosphere. Okay, what is your true sun sign? Okay, so find the sun, tell me the name of the constellation. Does this agree or not with what you thought you were? So actually, I'm pretty curious to find out if you guys get the same sign that your zodiac sign is supposed to be. I'm fairly confident that at least two of you for sure here are not going to get the right sign, not the real sign. What is your ascendant constellation? Which constellation was rising on the east? And which one is your moon sign? Where was the moon? And how far away? So what was the angle between the sun and the moon? Okay. And if you can guess. And then then after you guess, zoom into the moon and see the phase of the moon, right? See what that is. Okay, down here, what are all the true planets? So go to each planet and list the planet and the constellation that planet is in, okay? And then let's go and find out what professional astrologers think of you, okay? So this is gonna be funny. I think you guys will like this. You click this link and I have to share with the other link here. So this is kind of crazy, but Sean, you put in your date of birth. And again, I told you guys already. So December 7th, 1967. And it's going to give me a free star chart, which is kind of cool, about 3 a.m. And then your birthplace. And you start typing and it starts to give you, I've done this before. So. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. It's my thing is trying to fill it in for me. Okay. So can you guys see that there's a list right here? And I want to pick this one. Okay. And what it does is tells me the exact location, latitude or longitude for Santa Barbara. Okay. And I click submit. And now I have a giant report. I want to print that report because it's going to be super cool. I got to show it to my wife. I'm just curious how many pages it is. It is 34 pages. I'm joking. I'm not going to print it. No way. It's 34 pages long. Oh my God. Don't read the whole thing. It's meant to be entertainment. Okay, but anyway. Blah, blah, blah. So this shows me kind of all the things that I was looking for. You can check to see if you got the same result. Now you will notice that they don't agree with you. And the reason is they don't use the actual constellations anymore. They use these dates and that's it, right? So they cheat a little, yeah, not cheat, but that's what they use. They don't use the constellations that we use, okay? So, and then we can see, this is the symbols that we learned already. And this is Pluto, by the way. Oh, if you didn't write Pluto down, write down Pluto, PL, Pluto. Actually, it's named after Percival Lowell. Percival Lowell. Lilith, okay, I don't know what that is. Actually, Lilith is a moon. No, Lilith is an asteroid, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure. End node, I don't know what that means. Masculine, feminine, I don't know what this means. Blah, blah, blah. And this shows you all the funny relationships, right? So the moon and Mercury are really close together. That makes them more powerful. And these are the moon and Venus. So these are all really close together. This is a very powerful conjunction. The moon and Jupiter are opposition or almost opposite each other. Neptune and the moon are squares, blah, blah, blah. These are all the possible ways that astrology is finding a connection, right? And then blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's what it says. The sun represents vitality, a sense of individuality, outward shining creative energy. I'm a creative person. I am restless, cheerful, and friendly. The sun and Sagittarius are generally on the go. Yeah. They have a love of freedom and a disdain for routine. Generally quite easygoing. That's me, totally. Sagittarians make friends with people from all walks of life who are just friendly. They love to laugh and tease and get along well with both sexes. Anyway. Okay, this goes on for 34 pages. So I have an ascendant of Libra, according to this. Oh, here's a funny thing. She is a good, idealistic, enthusiastic, and warm-hearted. She is independent, having a taste for travel, definitely. Freedom, curious, and fair-minded. Oh, these are all me. Possible issues. She is too adventurous and may leave things to chance, may take risks, which cause problems. She is rebellious and sometimes tactless. I don't know if I like that. Sagittarius is an ascendant Libra. Okay. The sun is in the second house, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The moon is in Aquarius. Remember we saw that? The moon in Aquarius, people are very observant. Okay, so I can't read this whole thing to you. It's too big. You can go down and then you finally see your natal chart, your birth chart, which shows all those connections. Here it is, right here. And you can see things are oriented. It's a very geometrical way of looking at the world. And what does this mean? Actually, as you can see, I have a lot of spacing. I'm spread out. This is actually representative of my personality. I have a broad personality, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means. I don't know. It's just funny. I don't really believe this is me. It's just a mathematical story, which is cute, kind of fun. So this is something you can see. Okay, Sean. Oh, I put in she by accident. Oops. You're supposed to pick he or she.
No wonder.
No wonder. Okay. Okay, so there you go. This is how you can do your astrological reading. And then I'm going to ask you to continue. There's a couple more questions to do. Okay. So if you go back to the canvas, where's the canvas? Oh, because it was right there. Never mind. The canvas. Go back to the canvas. I'm lost. Go back to the canvas. Let's try it again. Go back to the canvas. There we go. That didn't work. That's wrong. There we go. Okay, so does this agree? So actually check your results against the star chart and see if they agree. Okay, and let me know if they do or they don't, right? And again, don't worry about reading the whole thing. Now, try to do this again with today, right now. Imagine a baby is born right after dark and go outside and look at the stars. I don't know if you can see the moon tonight. Can you see the moon? We have to think about that. I don't think you can, but that's okay. We'll talk about it. If you can't see the moon tonight, then you want to use stellarium to figure out where it's located. Okay?
Should I do the assignment like related to Santa Barbara or here?
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, this is wherever you want. Yeah, wherever you want. Do Brazil. That's great, actually. It'd be more fun. Something a little different, right? Everyone's doing Santa Barbara. Maybe not everybody, but you won't. You can do whatever you want. You can go any place in the world that you like. You can pick it, okay?
Okay.
For 8, unless you can't see the moon, you're gonna have to go find out what it's in. This is the baby's true moon sign, okay? So, and then What is the sign on the eastern horizon that's rising? And then what is the sign on the western horizon? So it would be great if you could identify those constellations for yourself. If you're not sure, you can use Stellarium to figure it out, okay? But the best would be to try to figure it out, okay? What phase is the moon tonight? Okay, so, and then this is what you're going to try to figure out. We know that the moon is in a constellation. That constellation is the moon sign. Locate the moon on the following chart, and then now measure the angle clockwise from the moon sign. Okay, this is the true sun sign of the baby. Okay, so you want to figure out what the sun is, right? What is the actual sun sign? And so if you go into Stellarium, I think that's probably just as good. Okay, so this is the only question that gets you points. But if you don't do the other questions, I won't give you the points. But you're going to just give me some feedback, okay? And then the last question, make up a horoscope for yourself. And this is extra credit. So you don't have to do this. If you want to do this, I'll give you extra credit, okay? All right, so that is the assignment. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on, okay? Because I didn't actually finish the lecture yet. Okay, so what's going on? Why is it that my horoscope says I'm Sagittarius, but the stars tell me that I'm in Ophiuchus, I'm in Ophiuchian? What's going on? And so I need you to understand that. That's actually an important idea. So the fact is that I've been living a lie, right? I thought I was just Sagittarius. I want to tell you something. If you don't like the sign that you're supposed to have, I now give you the right to choose another one, the one where the sun was, right? Pick another one and pick the one that you like better, okay? You can choose that. So what's going on? So this is, you want to write this word down. The earth is like a wobbling top, and the direction of the North Pole of the earth, which right now is pointing at the star we call Polaris, it's changing direction and is actually moving on a big circle. And this is called the precession of the Earth's axis, okay? Precession of the axis. So there's a really interesting long-term story going on. It's not something short. It's not a human life scale. It's a very long scale, right? And so it turns out it was first kind of understood by Hipparchus, the same fellow who gave us the magnitude scale, the same fellow who gave us the magnitude scale. Actually, can you guys, can we mute? Let's mute. Yeah, just mute, thank you. The same guy who gave us the magnitude scale actually understood that the direction of Polaris was changing very, very slightly. And it took tens of thousands of years. But he was able to do that because he looked at the Egyptian star charts. And that's actually one of the neat things that we know about him. He compared them to modern charts. And in fact, the Earth's axis is wobbling like a top. And this takes 26,000 years. Write that down, 26,000 years for a full cycle. This is a kind of an interesting thing. Because of that, the special days of the year that we call, what do we call the special days of the year? There's 4 of them, right? We call them the equinoxes, the vernal equinox, the summer solstice, the autumnal equinox, the winter solstice. Where they appear in the constellations is going to change, right? They're going to shift over time. And this is known as a precession of the equinoxes, right? So the precession of the equinoxes. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Does anybody remember? Ooh, let's see if you remember this. This is a moment where you can tell me that you learned something. Do you remember on the celestial sphere, also called the equatorial system, do you remember the name of the reference point? 0, 0. You have to turn your mic back on. Anybody? What is it called? You forgot?
Yeah.
Nobody remembers, huh? Okay. It's on page 4A if you want to look in your lab manual. The reference point of the equatorial system is called the
Vernal equinox.
vernal equinox. That's right. So that's a special day, right? So it turns out that the constellation, actually, I'd like you to know this. This is kind of I'll write it down a little bit later. But the constellation that the vernal equinox is in, the house that it's in, right? Because that's the boundary around the constellation, tells you the name of the age, right? So we are in currently, are you eating your lunch, dinner? Yeah, is it good?
Dinner. It's almost 10 p.m.
I'm just kidding. I'm actually, you know what? I had a webinar. I was watching one. I was like, it was getting late. And I'm like, I'm hungry. I got to eat some food. I just turned off my video. I do the same thing. I know, whatever. You know, it's fine. This is so weird, huh? What a weird life we have right now. But anyways, okay. All right. So it's called the age. So I'm going to tell you in a few minutes that the vernal equinox currently, I could just show you. Actually, let me not tell you the answer. Let me show you, okay? You guys are gonna figure it out. But anyways, wherever the vernal equinox is, that's the age, right? So we're in a certain age, okay. All right, so if you wanna learn more, there is a whole Wikipedia article on this, and it's way too much information. You don't need any of it. So it's just there if you just go a little bit crazy. But it's kind of an interesting story. I know Jared is a physicist and I'm a physicist, so one of the first things I ask is why? Why is this happening, right? Why is it that the top is trying to wobble? Has anybody ever played with a top? Raise your hand, I've played with a top. Anybody? You played with a top in your life, okay. You spin it and then it slows down and it starts wobbling, right? Why does it wobble? Does anybody know?
Is losing speed.
Is losing speed, but that's not why it's wobbling. That's just showing you the wobble more, right? It's because gravity, right? Gravity's trying to make it fall over. And we call that the torque of gravity, the torque of gravity. And so in physics, we can actually calculate the torque of gravity and we can calculate how quickly the top is going to precess. I mean, it's really fun. I love that. But anyway, you don't have to do any of that. So it's actually an interesting story to answer. Why does the Earth axis precess? And the answer is because of the sun and the moon's gravitational torque. And they're trying to make it go back to the right side up, right? So the Earth has a tilt, but the forces from the sun and the moon are trying to make it stand up. And because of that, the Earth doesn't stand up, it just starts rotating. The axis rotates. Okay, so now you know the answer, okay? So this is actually a little video clip. And again, if you download the PowerPoint, you can see this. But the idea is there music? I forgot. Hold on. There it is. Can you hear something? So I'm just pause for 1 second. You see the poles, right? Those are pretty obvious. There's got the North Pole, and this would be our North Celestial Pole, and the South Pole, the South Celestial Pole. But what about these red lines? Does anybody know what those might represent?
Is when it's sun and dark.
These are actually when these line up with the sun, we're at the equinox. We're at the equinox. So these are actually the positions of
12 hours and 12 hours.
That's the direction of the equinox, yeah. So 12 hour, right? Okay. Anyways, so you can see the direction for the equinox is changing, right? Little by little. So the whole cycle takes 26,000 years. Okay, so it went ahead and let me just make sure you see this. Okay. So 1000 BC, write this down, 1000 BC, the vernal equinox was located in the constellation of Aries. So, and actually this is why, you know, when they invented the horoscopes, right? They invented the concept of astrology. The constellation which started the year, it was Aries, because that's where the vernal equinox was. So this is about 3,000 years ago now, 2,500 to 3,000 years ago. So what is the age going to be? Well, if it's in Aries, it's called the age of Aries, right? But it won't stay in Aries. Which way is it going? It's going this way. What's the next constellation it's going to go into?
Issues.
Pisces, right? So after it's the age of Aries, guess what? It's the age of Pisces from 1 AD up to about, I thought it to about 2000. What? I messed up. Sorry. Try again. Here, zoom forward. Sorry about that. Fail. Okay, Pisces. From 1 AD to about 2000 is the age of Pisces. And then comes the age of Aquarius. Have you guys heard of that before? Age of Aquarius. Okay. And then Capricornus, Sagittarius, right? It'll keep going. Scorpio, sorry. We call it Scorpius, they call it Scorpio. Libra, there you are, Libra. Virgo. After Virgo comes Leo. After Leo comes Cancer. After Cancer comes Taurus. After Taurus comes Gemini. Oh no, Gemini, then Taurus. I messed up. Oops. Okay, then comes back to Aries. So 26,000 years is the complete cycle. Okay, so we watch right now, we have 1,000 years ago, Polaris was not the North Star. But here we are coming to the current time, and Polaris is our North Star, but it won't be forever, right? We're gonna change away from it. And so the North Star changes over time, little by little. So now at about 14,000 years, that bright star right there is called Vega. That's a pretty famous star. That will be our North Star. That'll be a really good one. And then we'll come back. And we won't have a North Star sometimes, right? Maybe the Southern Hemisphere will have a South Star. I haven't studied that very well. But in the Northern Hemisphere, we won't have one. I do want to just pause for 1 second. I want to tell you the name of this star. So can you see the constellation? This is the constellation that's wrapped around the Little Dipper. What is the name of this constellation?
Hydra?
Draco the Dragon, right. So here's a really cool fact. I think you will like this. When the Egyptians built the pyramids, they were so aware of the location of the North Star. They knew exactly where it was located. The pyramids are built exactly north, south, east, east, and west, right? North, south, east, and west, okay? They are perfectly aligned. But when we first looked at the interior of the pyramids and we found star charts, we didn't recognize the stars. How could that be the North Star? And we didn't know yet about the precession of the axis of the Earth. But we discovered that the Egyptians used this star right here in Draco the Dragon called Thuban, Thuban. That was the North Star about 3,000 years ago. And so that is the Egyptian North Star. That's what they lined the pyramid up with 3,000 years ago, which I think is really awesome. We're back to where we started. All right, so I think I'm done finally. Okay, here we go. So actually this does show you that So here it is. The Thuban was about 1000 BCE. And now we're here. So Polaris is our North Star. And in the future, about 14,000 years right here, Vega will be the North Star. And then we're going to be for a while, not with any bright star for a while. It's going to be kind of a hard time to try to navigate, right? I mean, you can figure it out. But anyways, so everything is going to rotate around that North Star, remember. So we're going to be able to tell that it's the North Star. But Polaris is just our North Star. Now, how long will it take to come back to Polaris?
26,000 years.
26,000 years, right? The cycle takes 26,000 years. Okay. So every 12th of the cycle, which is about 2,000 years, the sun shifts by one position, one constellation. So the reason why my constellation is not Sagittarius is because I'm looking in the wrong time, right? If I go back in time to, instead of the year that I was born, if I go back in time to the time when they invented the constellations, I want you to see something, right? So right now, if I go to find the sun, we know that the sun is not in Sagittarius. It looks like it's in Ophiuchus, right? I can see that. But now I'm going to try this. I'm going to go down to the year, and I'm going to go to the BC, right? BCE. So I'm going to put negative. I think I'm going to put negative. I'm going to try to put negative. No, it didn't work. Okay. All right. I don't know how to do this. How about if I put 0? How about that? Ooh, that helps. Okay. Now I'm going to put negative, like 500 is enough. Negative 500. And if you take a look right here, where is my sun now? It's right in the heart of Sagittarius. So 2,500 years ago, or maybe 1,000 works. Yeah, it works too, right? 1,000 works too. 1,000 works too. Okay, so 1,000 years before the Common Era, or 2,500 years, then the constellation would have been correct. I would get Sagittarius. I'm Sagittarius, right? It's correct because the precession of the axis has changed. Now, at this moment, if you looked at the sun, if we focus on the sun and we go around, I bet that we will find out that it doesn't. Oh no, that's not going to work. Sorry, I want to go through the year, little by little. Let me go back. You see right here. Oh, it still doesn't. It still messes up. Still in Ophiuchus. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Just ignore that. Ignore what I said. It's not important. Okay. Ignore that. Okay, here we go. Back to our story. Okay, so. All right, you guys getting that? So the reason it's changed by about one constellation is because about 2,000 years have passed, okay? All right, so the constellation where the sun appears on the March equinox, the vernal equinox, is called the age, right? So what age are we in right now? Do you remember? It was the age of Aries, but we are now in the age of
Pisces.
Pisces. We're in the age of Pisces, and it will last. So it was the age of Aries when we started. We're in the age of Pisces to about the year 2,500 something, okay? And what's the next age? Who knows the name of the next age?
Aquarius.
The age of Aquarius. Have you heard that song? So that's where that song comes from. The idea is that in the near future, humanity is going to stop being so brutal and crude and obnoxious and evolve and become beings that are good to each other. We're going to stop treating each other poorly. We're going to lift each other up. And the world is going to be this amazing utopia. It's going to be beautiful. There will be love and understanding, right? You know, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. You know, I'm going to be alive. And it will be the age of Aquarius, right? An age of enlightenment and truly amazing things. The age where we actually will be in space by then, right? So where will we be? Who knows where we will be? Okay, so the age of Aquarius is coming up. But that was the idea behind that song. The age of Aquarius is meant to predict an era of human civilization that is gone beyond war And, you know, we've evolved to a point where we're kind of a utopic kind of story. Okay, so why do people think that astrology works? Does it work? How many people think it works? Raise your hand, it works. Yeah, it works. And actually, sometimes it does. I guarantee sometimes it does. Okay, I've tested it. And sometimes it does. But if you test it rigorously, which means all the time, you'll find out it fails more than it works, and it's not consistent in when it works. Okay, but then actually there are some funny little things that I want you to be aware of. So you should be skeptical. And you know, if you're having fun, that's great. But try to be skeptical and ask, why would it work in the first place? Why do people think it works? Well, is it the force of gravity? So this is Jared, he's getting his PhD. He wants to impress you here. Is it the force of gravity? Well, the Earth is pulling on you with a force of about 750 newtons. Another human being pulls on you at a distance of 6 feet, 2 meters from you. That's safe distance, right? Remember, safe distancing is about 10 to the minus 7 newtons. And it turns out Mercury, the planet Mercury, is less than that, right? So the force of gravity from another human being is more of a force than Mercury is on you. Okay, so how could Mercury influence your life? Really? Come on, how can it do that? How can Venus, how can any of the other planets really influence your life? And I mean, I think astrologers would say it's not really about that. It's not gravity. It's something about the timing. And you know, maybe they have something. I just don't believe that there are only 12 types of people. But of course, there are all the other ascendant, descendant, you know, conjunctions, things like that. Here's an interesting fact. This is a fact. There are more car accidents when the sun is in the constellation of Virgo. That is a fact. That's a fact. But it's an easily explained fact. Virgo's huge. So it's a much larger constellation. It takes longer for the sun to cross Virgo. So of course there's more crashes in that. It's a longer amount of time. Okay, how about this one? There are the most deaths by drowning when Geminis are being born. So you watch out, because you're going to die by drowning if you're a Gemini. But it's actually not about Gemini, is it, right? It happens to be that when Gemini, the sun is in Gemini, it's June. And so in the Northern Hemisphere summer, that's when people are swimming. And unfortunately, that's when people drown, okay? So in Brazil, it would be something different, right? It would be, you probably would associate instead of Gemini 6 months later, whatever that is. What do you think of? Summertime. What's the summertime?
Summer
Yeah,
is December.
Aries? Aries? No.
I have no idea. I think
Yeah,
it's
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Cancer.
Yeah, we can go look it up. But anyway, but the reason for the death is not about the constellations. It's about the weather. It's about the season of the year, right? I mean, here's some other things to be aware of. If you look at the red curve is going up. This is a trend over about a 10-year period. And almost the same trend is the number of people who died becoming tangled in their bed sheets. What a horrible way to go. It's not funny. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but people died, okay? They got strangled, I guess. I don't know. And you can see it almost follows it, right? And so eating cheese makes you die by getting tangled in a sheet. That doesn't make any sense, right? So this is an interesting idea. Sometimes mathematically, things follow a pattern that's similar, and we call that a correlation. But correlation does not mean that they cause each other. Correlation does not imply causation. Here's another one, although this one is not quite as gruesome, right? The total amount of money generated by arcades. This is like playing games, arcades, right? And then the computer science degrees in doctorates in the US, and they follow each other, right? But they're not causing one another. They're not connected. They're just spurious. Okay, so this is Jared teaching you the word spurious. That's kind of an accidental connection. Actually, there's no real connection. They're just doing the same thing, okay? So correlation does not imply causation. They don't cause and effect. There's no cause and effect relation. So Virgo, It's a lie, right? We already said that. That's what it was here. Oh, we already did that. Okay. And we already did that. Okay. You know what? I think I messed up the slides a little bit, but anyways. And this one's not even funny, but it turns out that the number of coronavirus cases is very interesting. If they don't drink bubble tea, it's not popular. They have lots more coronavirus. It has nothing to do with bubble tea. Okay, not at all. Okay, so spurious. Okay. Here's another one, it's kind of funny. Sometimes if you read the horoscopes, let's read one of these horoscopes. Good evening, Professor J. Your work this month is to understand the difference between recognizing your breath and inhaling air. What's the difference? Don't know what the difference is, honestly. But you see, it's like a little, you know, I mean, there's no difference, frankly. But anyways, how about this one? The sun determines your ego, identity, and role in life. It's the core of who you are. And the sun is most likely already known, blah, blah, blah. Your sun is in Taurus, meaning you are fundamentally stable, deliberate, and practical, though somewhat stubborn. Your sensual side takes comfort and pleasure very seriously. You appreciate nice things when they're useful. Oh, hold on. You appreciate nice things, and people appreciate how reliable you are. It's in your 11th house, meaning you feel the need to, okay, so that's not the one. Wait, there's another one. I forgot there's one. Oh, maybe it's the next one. Okay. Yeah, it's not here. There was one where it's like, you're going to be connected to people, or it's the opposite. You're going to be disconnected from people. So you're either going to feel connected or you're going to feel disconnected, right? Well, that's everything, right? So you're going to get, that's going to be right. It's got to be right, 100%, right, exactly. So that's the other thing, to just be skeptical and read it. When you read it, like, what did they just tell me? They told me nothing, right? There was nothing there. Anyway, but they're fun. And the other thing, a challenge to you, if you read your horoscope, just for fun, I challenge you maybe to get a friend to cut off the headers and just give the little boxes without the words to describe the sign, and see if you can pick out your sign. And sometimes you can, but other times you'll pick the wrong one. I guarantee it. If you really try it, you're going to find sometimes it's very hard, except they give you clues sometimes, but it's right. Okay, so your astrological sign isn't actually where the sun was when you were born. It's where the sun was thousands of years ago when they defined the zodiac constellations. So astrological correlations, if they're true, are accidental, they're spurious. It is not the stars and the planets causing them. Still, it's good to understand views we don't agree with so that we can respond effectively. Okay, plus, some people think it's fun, and that's okay, as long as you know the difference between what you like and what's the truth, okay? So you should not let this rule your life, okay? Astrology is funny and fun and entertaining maybe, but don't let it decide who you can marry or get involved with or whatever or anything like that. Hey, people who know astrology, I've been having a lot of feelings lately. Any planets I can blame that on? That's Earth. That's a joke anyways, yeah, it's funny. Okay, and that's our thing, okay, and then this is, I just left it in. I actually normally would not put this picture, but he put it in, so I'm not sure what this is saying. Anybody know what this is? These are, they obviously were not holding up these signs, but the only planet to blame for your problems and emotions right now is the planet Earth. Okay, that what? Okay, that's the end of our slideshow. And so now what? Okay, so your task now is to use Stellarium and to try to do your own star chart. And so instead of taking a quiz this week, no quiz, just submit your work on that Stellarium. I know it's pretty easy. And then make sure you answer that one question with feedback, because that's where you get all your points. And if you want to do the extra credit, read what your star chart showed you and try to come up with a funny horoscope for yourself, okay? See if you can see a connection and just have fun with it. It's meant to be just fun. And that's it. That's all I got. Anybody have questions? Anybody worried about anything or anything you worried about for the class? I still have to put some things in Canvas, I think, and some grades, and everything will be in by next week. And then look over the next week. There's going to be Star Quiz 3, and then the overview quiz will be available next week. And then there's going to be the checkout assignment, which is where you go through your workbook and you upload a picture of your stamp out sheet, and then you count, you show me, you check off all the boxes for all of the sheets that you did, and then also check off if you got a stamp for them, okay? It'll be simple, it'll be really easy, and it'll take you a few minutes, and then you can give me a little feedback, and then that will be your submission, because I'm not gonna be able to collect your workbook from you, okay? And then, so we'll have one more class next week, and we'll find something fun to do. Actually, I have a fun activity. And then I may ask you also, okay, to do one little final activity, either in Stellarium or to go outside with your astrolabes. And other than that, that'll be it. And then you won't have to worry about finals week. We don't have lab and finals week. You just worry about your finals, and that'll be it. Okay, so thank you guys very much for coming. I really like having your faces, because just talking to the computer screen is not as much fun. And I miss you guys in person. I hope you're doing okay. And I really, you know, I just, raise your hand. Okay, Mariette, you raised your hand, yes. Go ahead and speak. Okay, you're 12A, 12B, 12B, okay. So that one is showing you, I see what you're looking at. You can talk, you can talk.
Sorry.
Your speaker, yeah, go ahead. What to do?
I can't figure out what they are.
Okay, so why don't I get mine for a second, and then I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you right now. Let's see, where's my, hold on.
Which one do you want to know?
E, the one that is line.
So,
Triangles and iris.
okay, Mariette, so this is this one, this box right here, is that the box? Yeah, that's the box. Box E, it says right there, Perseus, Triangulum, and Aries, right? And so if you look right here, where's my pen? Hold on, I got a pen. Oh, here's the guy. Okay, I'm gonna draw on this. Let me show you Triangulum and Aries. So there are Triangulum right here.
Okay.
And Aries. And then this big one up here, this is Perseus. This is back. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Okay, this one is Perseus. Okay. So now the goal is for you to go outside and do this.
Yeah.
You could do it. You can still do it tonight. Okay. Don't worry. Actually, if you go outside, I'd rather you did it by looking up at the stars. But I'm going to show you with Stellarium just what it looks like. Okay. Just so you can see it. So give me 1 second, and I'll get that ready for you. I'm gonna close Stellarium and then reopen it because I don't want it to be BC. So I gotta put my glasses back on. Sorry about that. Okay. All righty. Okay. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
You graded already this assignment?
What was that?
You graded this assignment already?
No, I didn't grade it. I graded some of them, but I don't think, did you turn it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I graded some of them, but I didn't grade all of them. Did I grade yours?
No.
Oh, well, okay, maybe I didn't. Actually, I'm not sure if I did. Let me see. It might be something I have to do. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna hit F11 to take it out of full screen. And then I'm gonna come bring it on. Okay, so I'm gonna just I'm going to show you what I'm doing, okay? So I have stellarium. I don't want you to use stellarium, but I'm going to just try to orient you first, okay? So turning off the atmosphere, okay? You can turn on the lines and the labels, okay, just so you can find that. And we're going to go way over, actually, this is daytime. I just realized it's daytime. Is it? Yeah, there's daytime. But actually, okay, so you're going to have to be, look at where these are. They're actually going to be really close to the horizon. So I'm going to advance time to the sunset. And that's already too low. So you may have a hard time seeing some of these. Okay. So I'll tell you what, in fact, for this activity, it's going to be really hard for you to see all of them. You can see Perseus though, okay? So if you look at Perseus,
I don't know what.
oh, I see. Let's see. Let me show you this. Okay. So if you look at the page, do you recognize this little cluster here? You know what that is, Mariette?
The Hades one.
Yeah, that's the Pleiades cluster, right?
Okay.
So does that help you a little bit? Because there's going to be 2 stars nearby. And so this 3 is pointing to that star right there. So I'm going to look for this. There's a branch of Perseus that comes down to the Pleiades cluster. I'm going to start with that. Okay. I'm going to look for that. All right. So I'm looking for that.
But really quick, is the 3, is that the magnitude?
3 is magnitude, right?
Okay.
So let's go through this again. Okay. So here's the Pleiades. Do you see the 2 stars that are coming down to it? There's 2 stars right here. Do you see them?
Yeah.
And this is the 3. This is the 3. So is this star brighter or dimmer?
Dimmer.
It's dimmer. Do you think that this star is twice as bright as this one?
Yes.
Okay. So then what would the number be if it's about twice as bright? Do you remember what you do? If it's a dimmer star, what happens with the number? It goes higher or lower?
Higher. So it'd be like a
Higher.
5.
A 4 would be good, right?
A 4. Okay.
A 4, right? And then you can look and see there's a star. Okay, so don't do this little one because we just skip over that one. I think, maybe I'm wrong. That's a little confusing, okay. But you can, yeah, it's a little confusing. Let's see if I can find the stars that are here, okay. So this one, this one, this one. This one is included, sorry, this one is definitely included. And then this is the next one right here. And then actually this one is included, I think, yep, this one. And then this one. And then this one right here. And this one they labeled a 2. This is a 2. Okay, you see the number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's this one right here. Pretty bright.
Okay. So it's like a.
Now you could keep going. 1, 2, these stars are included, but then these ones are as well right here. These ones as well. Are you following what I'm doing?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so you have used the star chart to help you figure it out. And again, Stellarium is a tool that I would prefer if you could try to go look at them right after that. But I don't think you can see Aries and Triangulum. So I'll tell you what, we're going to cheat then, right? So, and there's Aries. So we can pick the first star right here in Aries. This is also Aries, it turns out. But what are you going to write down for the magnitude?
For.
Actually, you know what? It probably would have been fine if we just, if we looked at this star and this star, can you see that they're pretty close?
Yeah.
So if this is a 2, then this is a 2 as well. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now how about this one, brighter or dimmer?
Dimmer.
Dimmer, so what would be a good number for it? Oh, actually, I messed up. That's the middle star of Aries. And this is this star here, right? I'm
Well-
confused. Oh, no, actually it's these three. So I messed up a little bit. I just realized I didn't draw Aries long enough. So I'm going to draw that a little bit longer. So you can see, you see Aries should be a little bit longer.
Oh, uh-huh. Okay.
All right. Okay. So,
Sean,
so it's 4 stars actually altogether that are there. Okay.
Sean,
so
I
you
have
can-
a question.
Yeah.
This is Erica.
Hey, Erica.
Hey, so this is kind of, I don't know if I can show, this is what I turned in. For most of these and then for the back,
You don't have to do
I
that
just
one.
got-
Yeah. So some of them you
Well,
weren't supposed to do. It's up to
oh, I just drew how they connect.
Okay.
Do you want me to
But you're
actually
actually
put the
supposed
magnitude?
to, you're supposed to try to find the numbers that go with those
Got it.
dots. Yeah.
So like the front, so like the
Like
front.
that. Yeah. I know it's actually this worksheet needs a little bit of work. So, but the idea was to find the magnitudes for each one of the stars. Okay. And estimate it. You don't have to be perfect. So yeah, so let's see. So just, yeah, don't worry about being perfect, but try to estimate if you can how the stars are, you know, what their magnitudes are. And it's mainly, is it brighter or dimmer? If it's brighter, you go down, right? And if it's dimmer, you go up. And if it looks like it's twice as bright, then you're going to go down by 1 number. And if it's twice as dim, you're going to go up by 1 number. And if you can't do a whole number, do a half a number, that kind of thing. All right. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a good evening. I'm done for now. And be well, be safe, and I will keep in touch with you guys. We'll have more stuff to look at over the next week, but mainly get that work done on the astrology. Okay? All right.
Cool.
We'll see you
Thank
later.
Sean.
Bye. Have a good night. Bye. Thank you.
Bye,
for being here.
everybody.
Bye.